Hi, everyone. We've got a really exciting launch today. We have Taryn here joining us, who is a nutritional coach, but with a little bit of a difference. So, we're going to talk about her book and how it can really help you. So, welcome today, Taryn.
Hey, Susan. Thanks for having me.
So I'm really excited because we always, as they say, your health is your greatest wealth. So being a nutrition and a health coach, but with a little bit of a difference. So let me tell you this amazing book, Eat with the Flow. We're going to talk about this book today and how it's actually really unique in its sense. But let's get started with why did you write this book? And the answer on this could land into the turning point in your own health journey that made you realize that food could dramatically change your hormonal balance. And I'm sure that led you then into reading the book. But tell us a little bit about your pivotal point in your health journey.
Yeah, this book is the byproduct of my own health problems. So, ever since I was a teen and into my late 20s, I suffered with acne, just like all the time. And I spent so much time and so much money trying to fix the external. And all the solutions that were available just didn't feel in alignment with me. And then one day there was this natural skincare thing that I did, and it went terribly wrong. User error on my part. And I ended up in this beautiful conversation with the creator of this product, and we ended up doing a skincare challenge together that involved skincare for the external part and food for the internal part. And it was quite a restrictive diet, though. So it cut out gluten and dairy and eggs. And then you had to drink celery juice every day. And what turned out from that was meant to be this month challenge became a whole journey for me. So I did this for a solid 8 months at least. And then one day, because it was working to a point, but still not enough, I was then digging into podcasts and trying to find a solution. And one day, someone was talking about hormones. And I was like, hormones? Like, I know we have them, but what are they? And she began talking for using food to support your hormones. And when I was doing all of this research after, I ended up in this crazy rabbit hole of information. There was these emerging leaders talking about it, and there were a whole lot of lists of foods to eat in each phase of your menstrual cycle. And I was like, this is great, but what am I supposed to do with just lists of food? And so I spent every Thursday night creating my own recipes and going grocery shopping, doing the recipe testing. And over time, this is how I began to eat. I began to eat for my hormones, for my menstrual cycle. And over time, my skin began to heal. Other things I didn't even notice were an issue began to heal. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint when you're healing. But I noticed that how I was eating was what was helping. It was the fuel for my body that was actually making a huge difference. It was almost like I like to joke of it as the gateway drug to the rest of my healing journey, where it opened me up to everything else just by starting with food.
That's amazing. And I love it when people have been through the journey themselves because they've done all the testing. And also, as you said, eating with the flow, those new concepts, it's like, well, wow. Yeah, like you said, we know we got our hormones, we know things happen, but our food is the medicine to that. But there's different, ways and different food that helps in different cycles. So you talk about eating with that flow. For those new to the concept, can you explain what it means to like align your meals with each phase of your menstrual cycle and you kind of why it works?
Yeah. So women who are menstruating will go through phases of the menstrual cycle. So we have two main ones that are broken down. We've got the follicular phase, which is the first part, and then the luteal phase, which is the second. But in that, we can break it down further into four. So in the book, that's what I refer to. I refer to the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, and the luteal phase. And we go through these phases because we have a fluctuation of hormones that create this cascading effect. So one hormone will trigger another response and another. And it's essentially all happening so that our body can create life and then sustain life. And so, in order for these hormones to be produced and utilized during the menstrual cycle, our body requires minerals, which we get from our food. And minerals are the spark plugs of the body, and they're essential for practically every process that happens in the body. So when we eat with the flow, it means that we're consuming foods that are rich in specific minerals that are going to support the production and the utilization of those hormones. So for example, we might want to consume more zinc in the ovulatory phase from things like beef, lamb, eggs, capsicum, seeds, because they're going to support the production of a hormone called luteinizing hormone that is needed to trigger the egg to be released at ovulation. Another part of it as well is like how much we're eating when it comes to eating with the flow. So in the luteal phase, because progesterone is our dominant hormone, this hormone speeds up our metabolism. It requires more energy, more fuel. And that's because it's assuming that we've created life now and we need to now sustain it. So we need more energy. And so we're going to need to have more calorie-rich foods in this phase of our cycle in comparison to the first half of the cycle where estrogen is dominant and slowing down the metabolism. So we don't need as much fuel. So lighter meals are sufficient during that phase of the cycle.
That's amazing too for, like you said, even in managing our own weight, managing our own mindset, and then understanding why sometimes we get hungrier at different times. That's really interesting.
Exactly. And so many women feel they're doing the wrong thing because they'll be like, oh, but 2 weeks ago I was on it and I was satisfied with the food that I was eating. And now I'm so hungry. And it must mean that I'm so disciplined, a lack of discipline. But it doesn't. It just means that your hormones are actually requiring you to eat more and you're going to support your body better if you're going to give it what it needs, which is more food because it's burning it a lot faster.
Yeah, I love that. So there's so much information in this. What I love, and we could talk for hours on this, and that's why I say to people, grab the book, start following Taryn, find out more and more about this because it really is interesting. And when someone's gone down the rabbit hole themselves and literally done the hard yards, we kind of get to just be educated on what we need to know. And what I love a lot about this is that you've gone to the effort, even not only in being able to educate us, there's lots of amazing information inside of here. But wow, look what you've done. You've made it easy and you've created recipes for us that help us eat with the flow, which is absolutely amazing, and taken all the education and given us some amazing recipes that taste fantastic. From developing these recipes and researching each phase of the cycle, what surprised you most in while creating Eat with the Flow, and sort of maybe what you found working with people having just this simple dietary shift to support their hormones and so forth?
I don't know if it was a surprise, but I think in all of the research, it's how in awe I am of the cycle, the hormones, and the female body. Like the female body is literally magic because once I understood that the hormones aren't just responsible for your reproduction, it's literally responsible for every other function in your body and it's influencing every system in the body from brain function to immune function, digestive function, you name it, all the systems are involved. It then goes to show how important it is that we are nourishing our body in the way that it needs because our reproductive health influences our overall health and our overall health is going to influence our reproductive health. So they go together. So eating with the flow is about nourishing your body so that your body as a woman can do the things that it was designed to do and to do it well.
And like you said, it's people that are coming up that want their bodies to be at the ultimate before they conceive and while they're going through that phase, being educated there. And even just like you said, eating with the flow from women being able to empower themselves to achieve everything that we do, because we're always multitasking in business, in life, with kids, in our life in general. So helping with our energy levels. And like you said, not getting the guilt when you're eating more, because understanding your body's burning more anyway and it needs it. So I've always been a believer that education is power. And I know that in your research and what you've done and what you've put in this book is amazing for people to really get recipes to sync with your cycle. The recipes have been done for us, which makes it really easy. They're beautiful step-by-step recipes, and they're really yum. Like, you've got chalk orange mousse in there, like with blueberry. Like, you haven't even got, like you said, celery juices and this strict. I love that you've put some realistic recipes in here to really help. What would you recommend someone just start with? What's one thing that they could sort of start with in being able to support their hormones?
I think this is so beautiful because of what I talk about. But I think the one thing that women can do that's going to support their hormones is to eat regularly and eat enough. So our hormones are so sensitive to stress because they share the same building block as cortisol. So when we're not eating regularly, or we're skipping meals, or we're not eating enough, our brain is going to believe that we don't have enough food, and then it's going to go into a stress state and it's going to start conserving energy. And that's a lot of the issues that women have with weight gain, is because their body is stuck in a stress state. And so when it's stress, it's going to always prioritize our survival over reproduction. And for any woman who's sitting there thinking, but I don't need to worry about reproduction, not thinking about having children right now or at all, it's important to remember that we need these hormones for overall health, because they are functioning and creating and cascading every other effect in our body. So we want to be taking care of them. So the one thing, eat regularly. And if you don't want to eat for your flow and you just want to try the recipes, that in itself is going to have a significant impact on your health.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Eat with the Flow recipes. Like I said, there's some amazing recipes, amazing information. There's everything from a smashed avo, plum sliced, poached chicken, noodles, mains. This is a beautiful book that is just full of recipes and information. So the link will be below for you to purchase a copy. Grab a copy for yourself, and there is time to grab a copy for Christmas. So I know that we're launching here now in early December. So jump on, grab a copy for yourself, grab a copy for someone that you know. And thank you so much, Taryn, for entrusting in us to bring this beautiful book to life that is going to change people's lives.
Oh, thank you for helping me bring this vision to life.
Thanks so much. Grab it on the link below.
Thanks, Susan.